Hey guys, welcome and ting and ting and ting. Today we're going to be watching something, a video here, and it's called "What I Spent in a Month Living in Serbia." Now I know how much I spent in a month living here in America. You know what I mean? And when you look at the work in relation to how much you spend, you just barely get by. So let's go ahead and YouTube and simmer and see how much someone would spend while living in Serbia. Let's go.
So, I live in Serbia, to be precise. Let me show you. Now, recently, a lot of people I used to teach English online with have been messaging me to try to get out of South Africa. And people have been wondering, what does it cost to live here? Today, we're going to jump into that.
Let's
So,
jump.
let's go. Many people have been asking me, how expensive is it to live in Serbia? Now, not very, and let me show you why.
Okay, let's
So
see.
first off, with rent. Rents can obviously scare people when you think of most countries, but in Serbia, it actually does not. So for $160 a month, I live about 5 minutes away from places like these that are calm, peaceful, and absolutely freaking wonderful to live.
Okay, 160 a month. How big? Is it a one bedroom? Is it a two bedroom? You know what I mean? Is it out in the suburbs? Is it close to a city center? You know what I mean? Comment down below, guys. People from Serbia, comment down below. Now, we have to take into consideration that she's speaking from a foreign perspective. For Serbians, what is rent like? Like, I know I'm lucky. I pay 450 a month for rent here, and all the utilities are included. Now, behind that door there's another apartment, and they pay close to $600 a month, but they have to pay their own uh, electric and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? I have to pay for my own cable and phone and stuff like that, but I don't have to pay for electric and stuff like that. So $160 a month. What is that? Just the base rent, or is she paying more for electric and gas, and if they're using gas there? And I say I'm lucky because my rent haven't been raised in the last, oh good lord, 15 years. I've been staying in this one little one bedroom apartment here. But that's because the landlord's office is downstairs, and I kind of look out for the office, make sure nobody's stealing anything or breaking in or anything like that. So it never raised my rent because I kind of look out for the place and thing. But $160 a month, wow, wow. Rent is so high here. It's unbelievable, and it just keeps going up because utilities keep going up, and then food keep going up, and people are just like really struggling to make ends meet that I'm around. Because I work at a grocery store, so it's like real working class people working there. Let's keep going.
Live around. Then, transportation. The best part is you don't need a car. If you're in Serbia, you can do everything by foot, by bus, or by taxi, and by train as well. I haven't done the train thing yet, but it is on the bucket list. So, my insurance for my car, because I did get a car, because I like to go places where buses and trains don't always go, like inside the mountains. So, I pay $300 a year for my car insurance and about $50 a month for fuel, which is not a lot because I kind of drive far.
Yeah,
I
that's
like to
not
drive
bad.
to all these obscure places where nobody goes just to see what it's like and talk to the locals. Now,
I think compared to here, Europe has got a lot of gas efficient cars in general, you know what I mean? And I know fuel could be really expensive in certain parts of Europe. I know in England it's really expensive. Here it's really expensive. I don't own a car. I use public transportation, but I don't really go very many places. I just use it to go to work and come back. I'm 7'1", so I don't shop a whole lot. I can't go to stores. I gotta order online everything, pretty much. So, I guess being tall kind of saves on the expense in this country because I can't just walk into any store and buy anything. Let's keep going.
With groceries, I will be honest, I splurge. I splurge a lot. I love to eat a lot. I like to eat fancy food. I like to eat South African. I like to eat Gouda cheese. I don't want to get local cheese. I do eat local cheese, but when I make pizza, I'm putting some good Gouda, some mozzarella, and getting all the spices that we get from South Africa. So food is usually a little bit more expensive than for the average person. The average person here would probably spend about $100 a month, but my food bills, eating out 3 times a week, and so on, comes to about $250. I know, crazy. Breaking.
I personally cook my own food. So, I go to the grocery store and I buy the stuff and all that and I cook it myself. I don't eat out here. I wouldn't say it's expensive, it's really expensive. The portions are huge here. I don't know what the portions are like in Serbia. Hit me up. Do you have large portions of food when you go to restaurants? Uh, and I don't eat out here much because I don't trust what they put in the food. So, I cook my own stuff and put more, so that way I know what I'm eating. So food doesn't really cost me a whole lot because it's just me. And even though I'm a giant, I really don't eat. No, she said the average person is about $100. No, that's a person. How much does it cost for a family to feed in Serbia? Comment down below. Of course, we have to keep in mind that it's in correlation with what the salaries are like in Serbia. What are the salaries are like in Serbia? Comment down below. Let me know what the vibe is.
The bank here. Then the next one, utilities. Now, I also have a weakness. I don't pay utilities every month. I get anxiety about bills. I don't know why. The money is there. I can pay them. I just don't. Until like 4 months later, then I pay everything at the same time. So I actually had to go sit down and check, and utilities amount to about $100 a month
Wow, that's a lot.
because we don't really wait for the cheap electricity. So in Serbia, after a specific time, when it usually gets dark around 8 o'clock, electricity goes on a discount. And you can do your cooking, you can do your washing, everything
What?
after hours. But I like convenience. So currently, I am not on the cheaper spectrum of what we're referring to. So electricity for me and everything together, $100 a month, but you could bring it down a lot if you.
Okay, what is she talking about? That the electricity goes cheaper at night? I've never heard about that. If anything, here it's more expensive at night because that's when everybody is home from work and they're using it. Or is it more expensive? Well, yeah, it's more expensive because more people are using it at night. What is she speaking of? Does the utility companies lower the rates at night? I've never heard of that. Now, in comparison to the Caribbean, I don't think it's very expensive there. I haven't lived there in a while, but my brother lives there. He's retired and everything. And I never hear him complain about having to pay electric and stuff like that. No, she also said that she let it go. Explain that to me in the comment section. I mean, what does she mean she let it go for months and then pay it? Can you do that there? Because if you don't pay it here, they shut it off. You know what I'm saying? Is the electric state run there? Like the government is in charge of that? Or is it a private company? Because here it's private companies and they keep raising it. Every year they raise it and they raise it and they raise it. So hook a brother up. Tell a brother what it's like.
Just choose your time wisely. Then we have to think about the phone data, which is $15 for 10 gigabytes of data with unlimited calling and SMSs, and $15 for Netflix, $6 for Apple Music, and I think, yeah, that's it for my subscriptions, I believe.
I don't have none of
Now,
that stuff
a
except for
big,
the
big
phone.
question is usually about
Yeah,
healthcare.
yeah.
Now, let me just preface this. Serbia does not have the most advanced healthcare system ever. If you get your blood tests done, it doesn't go onto a system somewhere. You have to take that paper with you. You get an x-ray, you take that paper with you to your next doctor and your next doctor and your next doctor. I actually have a file. So, with the Serbian healthcare system, you still have to do that even if you go private. So you pay a total of $6.5 a month. Yeah. That is basically what my costs come out to. I
What?
I know it's insanely expensive. How do people even afford $6.50 a month for health insurance?
Are
Oh
you
goodness!
kidding me?
But I don't usually go to public hospitals. The wait is a little bit long, so I tend to go for the pub or for the private doctors, and the private doctors are
Oh,
$20 a visit,
what?
even a specialist. So if I need to go see a gynecologist or
What?
I don't know, someone for my anxiety, I go see someone privately. And I
Okay, what? 650 a month, $20 a month private. That's it's a week. When we have insurance, health insurance here, you know what I mean? We pay like, and that's in the lower spectrum. That's when you have a decent insurance company. You know, she's probably talking about paying out of pocket. If you pay out of pocket, oh, it's gonna be hundreds. It's gonna be hundreds. I mean, you go to the doctor and smile at them and he charge you $100 for the visit here. And I'm not even kidding. I am not even joking. You go to the hospital here and an aspirin could cost you upwards of $20. That's how much it costs for one complete health care. Of course, it depends on if you're healthy or not. And she's speaking about how about the wait in the hospitals are long and stuff like that. But in private practices where I am here in West Virginia, you have an issue, it could be like you have to get surgery or something like that. They'll say come back then, come back then, come back then. Oh, the wait is long here. You know what I mean? I know people who had like a lot of health issues where I work, and it takes them like a whole year to get that thing figured out. You know what I mean? With and what people say is like, oh yeah, they're gonna keep you waiting and waiting. You have to go see the doctor, make sure everything is okay, and they have to go see the doctor to make sure everything is okay. You have to go see the doctor to make sure everything is okay. And every time you go, they rack the charges up. And if you don't have insurance, you're screwed. You are screwed. It's a major business here. It's a major business here. Luckily, I'm really healthy, so I haven't had to go to the doctor since I came to America, and I haven't had to go to the hospital since I came to America. I was thinking there for a minute, but I haven't. I've been lucky. And if I had wood, I'd knock on wood to be saying, oh, thank God, because I'm telling you, man, it is expensive. And my workplace almost had a strike because businesses have health insurance programs, insurance programs for people, and now they're trying to get rid of that. And if you go to private healthcare insurance, man, you're paying out the wazoo. I worked at a Toys R Us. I see it. I worked at Toys R Us for 20 years. I used my insurance once, and that was when I was married. Used it once, and they refused to pay it because it was for a dental issue. And my ex-wife was in so much pain, she went to the hospital instead of the dentist office. And they refused to pay it because they said she went to the hospital, not to the dentist. So I had insurance for 20 years, was paying into that. 20 years, never used it once, except for that one time, sorry. And they refused it. I had to pay out of pocket for it. And it was big bucks. I'm telling you, man, it's a big business here, man. You get sick. It's like they know you're going to get sick from all the crap you've eaten, all the crap they're feeding you. And once you get to a certain age, man, it's just money and money and money. And of course, they have Medicaid and Medicare for elder people. I don't know which one is which because I don't intend to be living here that long. Now, she did talk about the healthcare system kind of being slow and stuff and not the best. On my island, it's not the best. But we're healthier there because we eat natural. You know, everything is coming from the garden. You know what I mean? Mostly everything. We don't have a whole lot of fast food restaurants. We don't eat a whole lot of preserved foods there. So people are generally healthier there. But health insurance and healthcare, you go to the emergency room here and you'll be there all night, man. I know people go to the emergency room and sit there for hours waiting. You know, and then they talk about the healthcare system is great here and how the big waits in places like Canada or England, where it's a lot cheaper. You wait the same amount here, you just pay out the wazoo once you get there, once you get in.
pay $20 for it. No medical insurance gets involved there. It's just $20. That's the full price.
No, no, not
Lastly,
here.
and most importantly, is travel and leisure, like coming to a coffee shop and having a coffee. So I splurge. Honestly, I splurge. And this one is probably going to cost me about $1. So I will come for a walk, no car, remember?
She says she splurged
Well,
for a
no car
dollar.
needed at least, and just sit down and have a coffee. There's no worry about spending too much money because it's not that expensive. So
No!
come get your latte.
Man, you go to Starbucks here, you spending a good $8 for a cup of coffee or a latte and all that stuff. I don't go to those places. They're expensive. And even if I was making big money, I wouldn't go to those places to go. I could just make the coffee at home and then go for a walk and sit in the park and sip my coffee that I made. And I know the ingredients and it's not all sugar down. And and I have all different kind of other ingredients besides coffee in it. You know what I mean? And tea. I like a nice cold drink. I don't drink coffee anyway, but oh man, oh yeah, it's expensive. It's really expensive.
For $1. It's a good life.
$2. Yeah, that'd be like $5 here. I'm not kidding you. I work at the grocery store. Oh, free. That is free here to a certain
So,
degree.
when moving to another country, don't just think about the monthly costs. Don't just think, oh, it's only $500, $600 a month. I'm going to live like a king. Yeah, you will. Eventually. Remember, when you move there, you might need a new couch. You might need winter shoes because you didn't know that there's snow and it melts and then they get into your shoes. And you might need a winter jacket that is 200 euros. So these things add up. So don't just get on a plane, move to another country because of the low cost of living. Consider the other things as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows? You might need a new toaster. And when you do consider it, don't forget about the language. Living in Serbia has not been the easiest thing of my life, but it has been the best decision I've made. So, all in all, my total amounts to $533.50.
Wow.
I'm sure I've missed a few cents, but yeah, that's what you should be expecting. Not when you live in Belgrade. Don't live in Belgrade. You'll spend a lot more.
I figured
All in
that
all,
much.
that is the description of what it costs to be here. Stay tuned for more stuff. More things will be posted soon. Mostly adventures and things that I do when I just get in my car and drive to a random village because that's what I like to do. That's what we do for fun here. Explore, see the nature, and meet people who I can barely speak to. I'm working on it. Okay. I'm here.
$533. That's $100 more than my rent. She's living with everything that she's doing and talking about splurging and stuff like that. $533. That's less than the rent for the apartment next to mine. That's the same size. And that's not including everything else like food and utilities and transportation. That is not even including that. Wow. Now, I kind of figured that living in the city center would be expensive, like Belgrade and stuff, because there are probably a lot more expats living in those areas. Now, where I live, it's not a city. I could just walk it in like 45 minutes. So it's a little rural town, pretty much. That's how I see it. Because I've lived in New York, I've lived in Michigan, Detroit, I've lived in Nashville, you know what I mean? So I've lived in big cities, and this is just a little city. I could pretty much walk to a lot of things, but then there's a lot of essential things that I would have to take the bus to go to the outskirts of the little town and stuff like that. But man, so she's a foreigner living in Serbia. Comment down below. Tell me what it's like for Serbians there because I don't know what your salaries are like and stuff like that. Hit a brother up, you know what I mean? I'll leave a link in the description to this video, you know what I'm saying? And I will also leave other videos here that I've reacted to concerning Serbia. So check them out. Keep watching, man, you know, and comment down below. Let me know what it's like a thing there, you know what I mean? Y'all take care of each other. Cool runnings.